Okay, so for some godforsaken reason, my the stream went offline. My PlayStation kept saying that oh no, it's fine, you're still streaming, but according to Twitch, I was very much not. But thankfully, I mean, it's annoying as hell, but thankfully I hadn't really gotten started yet. I was just talking about all the bonus material that some of which you can't see because I'm not streaming via an Elgato, and streaming directly via the PlayStation puts some restrictions on you regarding what you can show and what not. I mean, I'm glad that at least I can show the cutscenes, but apparently art books are a no-no. And then I talked about how I don't really care for digital art books. Yeah. Anyway, welcome back again. We were about to start the second chapter, the second drop, playing as Yuri Kosokata, so let's see what it has in store for us, and hope that the stream doesn't drop again. And then it asks us, we always start with 10 herbal medicine, 5 sacred water, 3 purifying embers. This is healing, of course. This is an extra big healing. This is a revival. And purifying embers, cleansing flames that remove wetness and taint. Removing taint is somewhat good because the game tells you that it's a really bad idea to get wet. I mean, getting wet is kind of a main mechanic in this game, considering that it's raining all the time. And getting wet means that you take more damage more easily. And when you are wet, especially strong ghosts can taint you where one more hit is insta kill. But wasting purifying embers on just drying yourself is, I mean, it's not really worth it at all, to be honest. And then it asks us if we want to sacrifice any of these things. So if I say no mirror stones, then then I already start with this amount of points. So, apparently I can't get rid of all of them. But that's just to show that that we are ranked based on how many held items we have, and that we can already get rid of some of them. Psychic lens can only be purchased once, a lens that allows you to experience spiritual phenomena. 10,000 points for one lens. Okay. That allows you to experience spiritual phenomena. Is that so I can more easily see the secret ghosts? Well, I'm gonna play the game as normal for now, and then maybe we can take a look at this later. Second drop, Mount Hikami, Yuri Kosokata. A few days have passed since Yuri's introduction to shadow reading at the abandoned inn. Since then, Hisoka has gone off somewhere and hasn't returned. Yuri worries for Hisoka but isn't sure how or where to start searching. As she sits waiting at the antique shop, a girl named Fuyuhi Himino shows up, claiming to have enlisted Hisoka to help her find a missing person. Antiques Cafe Kurosawa.
Excuse me.
Hello?
I'm looking for Hisoka Kurosawa. Is she here?
Oh, I'm sorry, but she stepped out.
My name is Fuyuhi Himino. I've been waiting for her to tell me if she could help me find someone. I still haven't got a reply from her.
You're looking for someone?
She might have gone to the mountain. Mount Hikami.
Mount Hikami.
Someone told me that they saw my friend there. It's an infamous suicide spot, isn't it? I don't know why Haruka would go to a place like that, and without even saying a word to me.
Don't worry. As soon as Hisoka gets back, I'll tell her.
No, that's fine. I can't wait any longer. I'll go look for her myself.
Huh? Come back!
A missing person case. Hisoka left a few days ago and hasn't been back. Ah! What did it say? Maybe this is what she's been working on. Looking at my stream, which is a few seconds delayed. Sometimes that helps me when I accidentally click away from something too fast. Hisoka's room is upstairs. Maybe she left some clues as to her whereabouts. You mean you haven't checked those yet, considering that the opening text said that you wanted to look for her but didn't know where to start? You were just like, well, she didn't leave a note at the counter, so I guess she's lost. And once again, it shows us exactly where to look. I'm still nervous about standing here by myself, as I've never been good at handling customers. I've only just learned how to make coffee, and I've never actually served a customer yet. Know the feeling. I worked in retail for a very, 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 very brief time, and I specifically told my boss that I didn't want to be by the counter. This is where we keep the various coffees and teas. Hisoka only buys things from regions and brands that she likes. I mean, why would you buy something that you don't like? These ingredients aren't for the drinks we serve in the cafe, but for the people who come to buy the beans and tea leaves to use at home. The refrigerator is full of water, soft drinks, and a few beers. Alcohol isn't on the menu, but we sometimes serve it to the regulars. These drawers seem to be where the shop's receipts and financial records are kept. I've not taken a proper look through them yet. Why would you keep stuff like that in the shop? The pendulum of the old grandfather clock sways slowly. The clock itself may be broken, but it works well as a decoration. Hisoka said she likes the rhythmic sound of the pendulum and the chimes that mark the hour. There are various antique cans and storage jars under a shelf of coffee cups. It's an antique clock on top of an old dresser. Hisoka has a thing for clocks. The shop is full of them. She said she finds them comforting. It's a big antique sofa. It's been here since I first came to the shop. I don't think it'll sell, but Hisoka doesn't seem to mind. Some well-polished cups are neatly lined up. After I accidentally broke a few valuable items, it's been Hisoka's job to clean them. So a bit of Butterfinger, are we? Completely empty street. I wonder how far you could go if you could hack the camera. The road in front of the shop leads to Mount Hikami. It was built for the tourists, but the only people who use it now are the people who live here. Is that a camera? It's a clock with a large bell. It's a tobacco tray. It looks more like an antique accessory case than a functional tobacco tray. The cupboard is filled with This is the customer restroom. Hisoka and I take turns cleaning it. This radio has been set out as a decoration. The tuner doesn't work anymore, so it only ever puts out white noise. The Deathly Mountain. A book about Mount Hikami was lying on the bookshelf. It seems to be about the traditions surrounding the mountain. Mount Hikami has long been feared to be haunted. In the past, it was said that sleeping with one's feet facing the mountain was taboo. Watching the sunset behind the mountain, too, was believed to invite forth beings from the netherworld. Today, the mountain is said to call for those fascinated by death. Countless rumors abound of people spirited away to that accursed peak. They are said to venture to the mountain alone, leaving behind no trace of themselves. Some say the bodies of those who vanish can be found at the bottom of the lake of the departed on the mountain's summit. Since becoming a tourist destination, the prevalence of such frightening tales did seem to diminish for a while. Even so, despite its fleeting status as a tourist hotspot, Mount Hikami is yet to shake its reputation as a cursed mountain, a place of death. Today it has become a popular place at which to commit suicide. And that's another thing, I don't know if you have caught on yet, but Mount Hikami, Mount Fuji, the suicide forest in Japan, although in this game it's just called the Forbidden Forest or something like that, the game is very much inspired by Aokigahara, the suicide forest at the foot of Mount Fuji in Japan, and by extension Mount Hikami is inspired by Mount Fuji. I would even say that more than any other game in the series, I mean, this is a series about ghosts, so of course it deals a lot in death, but this is the game that is mostly themed about death and suicide and stuff like that. I would almost say it's one of the most grim games in the series, just going by those themes. Suicide at Mount Hikami. A book about Mount Hikami was lying on the bookshelf. It seems to be about the rumors surrounding Mount Hikami as a site of spiritual activity. And I know I say Mount Hikami, the characters say Mount Hikami, but that's because they pronounce everything in an English tongue. And I try to be just a little... for someone who refrains from switching the game to Japanese, I know it's rich coming from me that I want to pronounce the mountain name in English. In Japanese. How does a place become famed for suicide? As more people die, the place will gain a reputation, and people are drawn to these spots out of a desire not to be alone in the end. Interestingly, these suicide spots are rarely known as hotspots for spiritual activity. This is what makes Mount Hikami distinct from the others. It has both a tradition of suicide and has long been associated with ghost sightings. Then there are the so-called Maidens of Blackwater. Roll credits. It is said that if you are found by one of those maidens, they will lead you to your death. Those caught in the maiden's gaze never again leave the mountain, or so the rumor goes. There are also tales of specters on Mount Hikami who relive their own deaths. Those who do not die in accordance with local practices become cursed, forced to relive their final moments for eternity. Many of the people who have been kept from committing suicide on Mount Hikami claim to have seen a maiden, or one of these looping specters, and felt a strong compulsion to kill themselves. Perhaps it is because of these stories of maidens and ghosts that the mountain continues to be a popular spot for those looking to take their own lives. Excuse me. So you see, in the notes alone, it's very fixated on... the game is very fixated on death and suicide and stuff like that. Cute little garden. I always wanted a Japanese garden like that, but I fear I wouldn't be very good at tending it. This leads to the bathroom. Hisoka prefers a large bathtub, but it's too large for me to relax in very easily. Huh. Is there something I could check? There are stepping stones here leading down into the garden. I don't go into the garden much, other than to tidy it up. The back door is locked, as usual. Hisoka doesn't trust me to go out at night. Hisoka gave me this room when I moved in. It used to be her bedroom. It's been a while since I moved in, but I still haven't unpacked anything. Hisoka put this desk here for me. This used to be Hisoka's bedroom, but she freed it up for me to use. There are some baskets and file cases on top of the dresser. Hisoka set them out for me, but I'm not sure what to do with them. It's a big pile of cardboard boxes. I haven't touched them since I moved in. Orange light floods in through the window. Hisoka doesn't like it when I don't make my bed. I'll do it later. A stitch in time saves 9, my sweet girl. Why postpone something that you can do now? This is Hisoka's room. She really likes the traditional Japanese style. It's an old Japanese style full-length mirror. I've never liked looking into mirrors. There's no And I seem to recall that picking one of these items will immediately put you on the mission, but I don't remember which one. Anyway, I have one more room to check before I check any of those items.